Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for hanging out and listening to all of us talk about how we can bring a lot of people onto Web3. I think we've got a great mix of folks over here. Privileged to know most of you personally over the last couple of years. And I think we'll get some very unique perspectives. So generally what I like to do is not go like one by one asking a question. Think of this as if all of us were standing around a water cooler talking about Web3, crypto, all of that, and just let everybody else be a fly on the wall. So more free questions. And if I feel there's any sort of direction we want to take the conversation with, I'll pop in with a question. So everybody, please introduce yourselves. Tell us what you do. My favorite question for everybody always is, what brought you into Web3? Like the 30-second version of what brought you into Web3. Please add that along with your introductions.
Hi, everyone. Great to be here and good to be back in Dubai. My name is Josh Kriger. I'm co-founder of Edge of Company. I also co-host the Edge of NFT podcast, and I'm based in Los Angeles. And what got me excited about Web3 is actually the supply chain use cases. I used to run a decentralized prepared meal company, and I was constantly thinking about all the different possibilities to disrupt the supply chain. It's very difficult to source healthy food in the US, and there's a lot of, I guess there's like the food mafia, and it just seemed like that was an obvious use case, and that got me sort of crypto curious, if you will, and I went down the rabbit hole and haven't ever come up.
That's interesting. I think I have a similar story as well, more on the supply chain. Yeah. So by the way, good evening, everyone. This is Aishwarya Jain. I'm the VP of Growth and Strategy at Nordek. Thanks, Vaibhav. Yeah. So what got me into Web3 was I came in for the money, stayed back for the technology. So I started in 2015, starting to invest in 2017 rather, starting to invest in early stage projects. I got an early at Ripple, etc. That was my, whatever news that we used to read back then, they were not called shillers, but unofficially they were shilling. That is what I got into. And then I got deep into blockchain technology as such, and started with supply chain, more into the airline side, how they were managing the logistics. And that's why I stayed back, honestly speaking. So yeah, that's been my journey so far.
Hello, everyone. I'm Soniya. I am the founder. I'm the founder of Orbis 86, and thanks for that shout out, Vaibhav. I got into crypto like most of us here did, which was investing some spare change into crypto, and then just hoping that a dollar would turn into $1 million. No, I'm joking. Well, for some people, that has been something that has happened, but I wouldn't call that. That was back in 2015, 16. I wouldn't really call that me getting into Web3 because there was nothing Web3 about it. I transitioned into Web3 about 2.5 years ago. I have worked at a lot of Fortune 500 companies, and at my last job, which was at Broadcom, I was leading their product globally across 4 different continents. And the reason why I got into Web3 was because I was tired of the corporate bullshit, where every person becomes a line item on somebody's expense sheet. And personally, I believe that Web3 is driven by a sense of community. And that is one of the reasons why we also host a bunch of community events and stuff, because we feel like community is the strongest word in Web3. And Web3 also has the potential to actually create a more equitable future. We are still at a point where the rich are becoming richer, but I'm hoping that somewhere along the line in the next 10 years, Web3 will truly be for everyone. And that is why I got into Web3.
GM everyone, I'm Harsh, founder and project lead of Push Protocol. What we do is essentially enable communication for all the blockchains, like Web3 native notifications, chat, and so on. We are very excited that we are becoming this very first blockchain of communications very, very soon. Started back in 2020, and yeah, from then to now, we have sent over 70 million notifications and worked with the like of Uniswap, Aave, Gitcoin, Polygon, and so on. How I got into Web3? Well, yeah, funny story. 2016, Bitcoin was all the rage in India. Tanmay Bhatt also spoke about it in one of his skits. Bitcoin was $1,000. I, of course, thought that this is my moment. Let me buy some Bitcoin. A week later, it was back to $200. So I guess I'm still trying to make up for that loss. And that's why I got into Web3. But yeah, that time I was a trader. 2018, I realized that you can build so much with Web3. And that's how we went to build on Push.
Straightway going to the point, how I came in Web3, it was for love for the technology. I mean, at least that is what I tell myself. It's about the money, of course. Initially contributed a lot in terms of money by losing it to scammers. About a quick introduction about myself, I work for a centralized exchange in Akshay. Most of you guys are very familiar faces. I've worked with you, I've spoken with you to an extent. XT.com is doing a lot of good things. We rebranded ourselves to become the potential exchange for a lot of RWAs, all the hot narratives. Even meme coins as well. These are a big narrative to be in at this point of time. That is how a lot of us guys made that initial money. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nawal.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Nawal Kishor, co-founder of Nordek. I started my journey on early 2016, and as a first product is Bitcoin, I heard, and my journey started from Bitcoin mining because that time no any kind of framework or any kind of product built that time. We even don't know about the blockchain. We thinking the blockchain and Bitcoins and crypto is the same thing. So that time I started. I bought my first Bitcoin in $450, and I sold in $1,095. 5 Bitcoin I sold after minings and all. That time I have my IT company, 2 IT company. So that time I'm building the affiliate product with Google, with Amazon, with other different kind of products. I built more than 20 projects in the tech world. So I'm more interested and curious to know about the blockchain technology. And that time Ethereum born, and Ethereum price is $9 in front of me. And slowly when we learning and we see so many changes. And now that time we're talking about this can be next become an industrial revolution. So already we are part of this revolutions. And now every part of industry already covered by blockchain. And now people understand the blockchain is not, we cannot compare with the blockchain and the cryptocurrency price, because cryptocurrency price is something different and the technology is something different to drive the industry. We cannot, I can say we cannot ignore the price impact, of course, because this technology have 2 parts. One good part is same time the data is solving the problem, and that same time the data you can trade, because we trading not currency, because we trading the data of asset in the friction of the value. So many so many people who are in this industry, they even don't understand the standard and the value of the cryptocurrency and blockchain. So because of we working very deep and we've seen so many things in this last 6-7 years, I think this is the only industry where is a transparent and more impactable product we can build the same time. We can trade that data and we can make some money.
Perfect. So it's a very unique combination we've got here, and I'm going to sort of tweak the topic a little bit to say that ignore the word trading for now, but let's look at the word platforms, right? Because Nawal's building a blockchain, which is a platform. Josh is building a whole influencer content platform. AJ is obviously at Nordek as well. You're building something on the deck side. You've built a platform which allows you to communicate on chain, and you guys are, of course, the trading platform, right? So all of us are at some level, because we're so early in the industry, building a platform, and we've gone through a very long, brutal bear market, which we really didn't hope lasted that long. So tell me, what have been your sort of unique perspectives on how you build through the bear? And because there is no playbooks in crypto and in Web3, how are you looking at now onboarding the next few million users? We all know there's not a lot of users in Web3, but how are you looking at onboarding the next few million users?
Yeah, very, very, very simple. I think we not focused on the price side or trading side. We focused to build infrastructure product related to real use case and solve the real life problem. So at Nordek, we already built that kind of product. Like you can say tap pay. If someone see this today, the tap pay revolutionize the industry for small scale businesses. So that empower and customer retention. If your business is running offline, so you're making money already from your businesses. And you same time you entertaining that industry because there have some gamification in the application. So this time business is not like straight business. This is like business, same time trade, same time entertaining, same time socialify, same time DeFi, same time CFI. So you basically doing business and enjoying the business. So same time we developing that banks for who are interested in the 24-hour banking services. Same time we build some kind of product that can be utilize your cryptocurrency anywhere in the world. So see, this all kind of product represent the industry, and same time they change your pocket to use this financial in the better way. So this is from my side.
Yeah, some great points there. So the bear market was pretty brutal this time around. I think it caught us by surprise, many of us, me included. But I think once we kind of got over that, those of us that saw the potential for the next super cycle, we just sort of kept going in terms of consistency, which I think is sort of a key tenet of building an ecosystem and a platform, in elevating the industry with high quality edutainment, because there's a lot for all of us to teach the world and to learn from each other that FTX was a distraction from. So during the quote bear market, our YouTube audience grew from 10,000 to 123,000. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and now of course we're growing at an accelerated clip. And I think the important things for any platform to do going forward in this next cycle is not to lose sight of the importance of building a brand that's high quality, that brings integrity to our industry, and elevating the sophistication of the conversations, like events like this, into real practical use cases. This meme stuff is fun, but it's fundamentally a distraction unless there's real fundamentals behind what the intent of that project is. And I think it's important to sort of take this concept of community seriously, but not sort of pretend things that are not community building are community building, and truly sort of build a community of deep aficionados that appreciate what your unique platform brings to the space.
That's an interesting point that you made there. So what is true to me is I've seen 2 cycles before this one, right? So you know the potential that every cycle brings, although it's short-lived, but the impact is insane. And that keeps you motivated. So for the last 2 years, we've all been thinking, bull market is going to start, bull market is going to start. That is what is keeping us going, and that is what is helping us build as well. So I would say that, Mr. Nawal has experience of seeing at least 5 cycles by now, instead of us just being at 2. So I can see the motivation there, why we've been building, why we've been, going through the harsh time. This was all for this time, where things are just getting started, and probably it's going to just blow up from here.
I want to say something about someone always asking in interview a bull market and bear market. I straightforward saying bull market, bear market, who have $1 million in their account, who playing like game, that money in a game, that may be bull and bear market. From last 8 or 9 years, when you focus on the industry side, that not really matters bull or bear, because every day you making money from your businesses. So crypto is not only about trading. Trading is about maybe very less of the crypto adopters who are doing real tradings and continuous tradings. There are very less percentage of the people who are into crypto and the tradings and the continuous trading retention. I'm talking about always, when we're talking about customers, not only buying one time, about customer retention. So I think always we losing the trading side. People, we're losing customers. Exchange always losing their old customers. Maybe they lose millions of dollars. I think they never ever able to, recover that fund. So they never try to, do tradings. But I always suggest you need to involve yourself industry side, product side. There is more bigger market and longevity. So this is my perspective. Maybe different people have different aspect. Thank you.
So we're talking about onboarding millions of people here, right? A question for the audience here. Just general statistics. How many people do you think use cryptocurrency today? We have 8 billion people in the world, right? As of this year, how many people do you think, or at least as of last year, how many people do you think use crypto? Use in any way. They are on blockchain, they have wallets.
5 million.
Discount, the centralized.
I believe the data for
5 to 10 million.
5 to 10 million globally? Okay. Anyone else? Any numbers?
I think it's around.
the data for centralized
15% of 8 billion is still a billion plus, yeah.
it's 150 million.
50. Okay, so as per some latest data from Chainalysis, and obviously there are other data sources as well, but the numbers are somewhere between 400 million to 600 million. Now that's about 4% to 5% of the world's population. We definitely haven't gotten to a billion users, right? I love to share this point that if cryptocurrency was as lucrative as it was, or even if it was as lucrative as TikTok went from 0 users in 2018 when they launched to a billion users in 2020, surpassing Google as well as one of the most used products. Yeah, shattering like Google records, right? So here we are though at 500 million users, and let me tell you, in 2021, this number was about 100 million. So obviously we have seen a rapid rise in the past 4 years. And today, a couple of years back, United States was the country with the most number of crypto users. Today, surprisingly, it is India. It is India because of the sheer strength in population. Now in India, cryptocurrency regulations are very funny. However, people can still use it. Surprisingly, China is also in the top 5, where cryptocurrency is straight off banned. So people find a way. But the problem right now is finding a way to be able to deal with crypto is extremely hard. So when we talk about bringing millions of people, here's another stat I don't expect anybody to know, but the average income of a cryptocurrency user is $25,000 a year. Even in US, the poverty line is 18,000, and across the world, there are 100 countries where the per capita income per year is under $2,000. And we're talking about users with an average income of $25,000 who are right now in the cryptocurrency space.
400 million users.
400 million users, yes. So yes, I feel that the biggest challenge that we have to access, that we have to solve for right now is how do we take cryptocurrency to the users who don't fit in this demographics, and that actually constitute the world's largest population. And earlier today with Nordek, we saw things like, hey, you don't need to be connected to the internet. There are so many people today who are not connected to the internet. So solving for challenges like those, being able to provide people with infrastructure that they can use on their smartphones easily, not have to worry about even losing $100 because they lost their seed phrases. Again, somebody earlier, again from Nordek, right? They said, even where you have $0.1 as a gas fee, you're going to see a blockage to crypto adoption. So those are the challenges that we need to solve for, and we are getting there.
All right. So I look at bear and bull market in a totally different perspective. And this is to go with like how Web2 progression occurred, and we need to understand that. So, for example, like when internet came, people didn't know what to do on the internet, and they were building sites which was just a profile info until e-commerce, until a lot of applications came over, and you had WhatsApp and you had so many other things that people derived, okay, this is how we do internet. Before that, we had a .com bubble burst as well. But then after that, you know, the evaluation of the likes of Amazon, it surpassed. It's the same thing with the bull and bear. Like we need to understand like what causes a bear market. And usually the thing is like whenever crypto or Web3 in general reaches a problem that cannot be solved at that point, or that is a burden to get more users, that is where the bear triggers. So for example, 2020, it was about utilities. People didn't know like what utilities would be there. 2020, you got DeFi. 2020, you got NFTs, and you know that triggered a bull run. But people realized we cannot pay thousands of dollars in gas. There's a scalability issue. So that triggered the bear run. And I think at this point, when we are going into a green market, it's because that scalability problem, there are ways by which we are thinking that will be solved. And once that is solved, the circle keeps on getting bigger and bigger. So that's the thing. That's what I would define like a bear and bull. And if you define it like that, if you're building a project out, it becomes that much easier to basically work through it, right? Because you know that you have to solve this problem, not go on to CoinMarketCap and be depressed. Right now also don't go to CMC. So yeah, that's the thing. Now coming to the point, like how will we get to 1 million of users or 2 billion users? Again, this is something that Web2 has already solved, and we have to just look at it and just fit that into Web3. So the first narrative was like, we need to get 1 million devs, but now it's 1 billion users. And we need to understand that users and devs, they are different, like totally. Dev can say that we are in it for the tech and we can believe it. But no user says that, you know, we are in it for the tech. They are in it for the features. And until the point we solve the problem or the friction, what they have, we will not be able to onboard them out. And there are 4 problems that I see that happens. And this is kind of like Web2 and Web3 analogy. So, have you ever used MetaMask? Any of? Yeah.
Was
Amazing. So, what was the first time experience when you used MetaMask? You probably downloaded it and then you had seed words, right? And you were wondering what the hell is seed words?
it was scary. It was scary.
Yes. And then you had to find friends to basically distribute your seed words out. And then you didn't stop over there. Like once you did that, you were not onboarded. Now, if you wanted to interact with the protocol, you had to go to exchange. You had to do a KYC. And then once you do a KYC, you needed to learn off-ramp, on-ramp. You needed to learn wallet. And once you finally have that MetaMask set up, only then you can interact with the protocol. This is not a user. Like 6 hours to understand the tech. If YouTube does a feature which is like, you know, invest 6 hours to do something, I am not going to do it. No one else is going to do it. So this one interaction becomes 10 action. That's one problem of Web3 that we need to solve. And we are trying to solve it with account abstraction, with social recovery, trying to navigate through it. Just like how Web2 did. Web2 basically said that You don't have to sign in until you are doing something which is important to you. So all of a sudden the friction is eliminated. The second thing is that we need to really embrace communication. So the thing is, like, whenever we are talking to Web2, right, there is a lot of engagement that is happening. It's not a one-way street. So if Flipkart is delivering me some product, I'll get a notification. If I want to chat on Twitter, I'll go and DM the person out. So there's this very vibrant, very engaged virtual community. And I think that's also there, that's very important. That's what we are building. So of course we think it's very important, but I really feel that brings the Web3, or that makes Web3 go to a billion user mark. And then, other than that, of course, there's a scalability. Other than that, there's also the need to embrace AI, make things easy for the user. But the crux of it, all of this is building features for the user. And once we do that, the technology becomes invisible. So right now, when we go to YouTube or when we go to Google Meet, we are not thinking what protocols are talking. They're just talking in the background. And I think that's what we need to do to onboard the billion users.
Okay, considering that we are talking about the trading platforms and blockchain revolution, our strategy has been same, be it the bear market, be it the bull market. It has always been security for the user that are coming on board. We fit really nice in the puzzle of the trading platform. We have a lot of users. It is somewhere around 8 million. And the conversation in the company or in the management side is always, how do we get this number to 50 million or 500 million? One thing that we have figured out is getting on board new projects, such as, let's say, Push Protocol. Nordek was, for an example, Nordek we onboarded in the bear market itself, and we got a lot of users because of that. So two things that we sort of focus on to get that million mark, maybe a billion mark, is to onboard good quality projects, and at the same time make sure that security is there. So we do have we do KYC. We ask for audits as well. We are partnered up with the top auditing companies all over the world, and this essentially safeguard the users at the same time, and they have this conviction that, okay, let's say if you're coming to this platform, we are pretty much secured in the front that, okay, we are not, our wallet is not gonna get hacked. At the same time, the user experience is pretty nice. Since we talked about MetaMask, and I said it was a scary experience for me, who is in crypto industry, and for people who are just learning what RWAs is, what token is, what Bitcoin is, and what even a meme coin is. For them, the security is the most important aspect. And yes, that is what we essentially focus on.
Yeah, I think it's really important to realize that even though we're going to have this incredible week of 10, 20,000 people in Dubai that are all about blockchain and Web3, probably only 5% of them will be relatively new to the industry and not onboarded. So when we're talking about building a platform for the future of the industry, I think we have to go to uncharted places and be really creative with collaborations that cross into the Web2 sphere. And I think it's still a work in progress. Pepsi actually did one of the biggest onboarding campaigns last year. For those that weren't familiar, they dropped 2 million NFTs to their users. Reddit, we heard about that one. But I think it involves both digitally and physically getting really creative. And I think it's really challenging to build ecosystems from a marketing perspective in our industry. One thing that we're doing is we're bringing people to Saudi Arabia next week, April 23rd, because that's the other edge. That's a place that's sort of untapped. They've put $8 billion into gaming, and they're really curious about Web3, but it's still new there. We're still at ground zero. So I think it's important for all of us to take the kinetic energy that we gain from energizing events like this, where we all think the same, and then disperse globally to ensure that there really is mass adoption.
Perfect. So I've been informed that there's a hard stop, like we have to get off the stage. So, well, I had a couple more questions, but what we'll do is, obviously everybody's here, we're all socializing, so feel free to network, walk up to the speakers. I think all the guests over here are super amazing, and they're all really pushing the edge of how Web3 adoption and Web3 technology is being used for onboarding a lot of new users onto the industry. But anybody with any last comments, please go for it. We have like a minute to go.
I had a quick comment. So, Harsh, I liked how you kept calling it the beer market, and I was thinking that I wish we always had a terms of bull market and beer market, because that would be like so much fun. But I'm not taking a dig, but I thought that hey, we would be in much better place if we had a beer market going instead of a fair market.
I don't think a lot of people will agree, but at least the builders will.
On that note, I think cheers to beers, and I'm a perma bull, as I say, so we're always in a bull market. But look forward to interacting with all of you this evening, and thank you for taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's either a bear market or it's a beer market.
Can we just stick on for a while? A couple of quick questions on behalf of the audience that they have never messaged me, but I'm still going to go. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. First thing, how was your experience? Tell me that on stage. How scared? How nervous were you?
It was similar to how I first started using the MetaMask. Scary, but then it's chill.
Good one. Good one. I want to check with you guys. How many of us have been through like couple of cycles of bear and bull?
One cycle.
Okay, great. So what I want to know from you is that, of course, we still haven't seen the peak of the bull. In fact, I consider that we haven't even seen the bull, because if you adjust the inflation, I think Bitcoin, if it reaches $78,000, that time you kind of adjust it for an all-time high. So we are still kind of around this space of, yes, bull market is around, right? Sorry? Good. Go ahead. No. Yeah, okay, you wish. Okay. I know. But, when it comes to this space that we are in, once it hits the peak, what is your takey? What should we do? Right? Take the money and run? Or hodl it? Or what? I will love to start with Nawal first and take his feedback. And Nawal, by the way, I've heard some very interesting things about you on social media also, that you have a massive holding, and that holding you can even buy Nepal with. so tell me that.
I believe I will tell you some real story. People talking about the bull run coming, arriving or something, very aggressive. Last 1 year, they're waiting, something happen. I buy LTC 254. Litecoin I buy 254 in last bull run. That time is 2020-21. Okay. And some of coins like BCH I buy not for buying or selling, just I buy for keeping myself for hodl. So I buy is like 1150. Okay. And I buy some Bitcoin in 69,000. Okay. When someone coming and saying, oh, now market is going better, I am saying that market need minimum 2 years more to reach their own level, and bull may be coming, maybe not come, as per my perception. So market is only by hodl. You can make money by hodl. Last 1 year, I make 4 times just by hodl, not by trading.
Whack me.
Just by hodl, what I buy, just I hold and make 4x, not like $10 become 12 or 13 to 14, $10 become already $50. So only hodl can be your good part, and you engage yourself into industry, not focus on the trading side and playing the games of money. I think because you serving the industry and you creating more opportunity in job side and more opportunity in business side. So that time you also making money and you giving the impact on this world. So that better.
Anybody else has a take? Okay, Josh.
I think we've all learned the value of taking profits on the way up. So my sense of things, and I don't know my future self, is that I'll just do that continually, and then if the market grows 6 to 10x what it is now, we'll be more than quote like a small cap in the grander scheme of macroeconomics, which we are right now, and that's why there's so much volatility. So I think it's actually quite a healthy thing if we all take profits on the way up, because we'll have a more stable market. That it's not, when we get to that quote peak, we can look around and enjoy the view.
Thank you. Yeah.
So there's this thing, like we always read about DCing on asset. We also have to learn about DCing out. Because holding might get you over there, but there's a lot of stress that comes with holding, especially when the market turns really green. And there's this psychological thing that if you don't sell at the top, you always regret it. So I agree with Josh. Try to DCA out, have a strategy, even if it's just to take your principal out.
Last thing. I believe, of course, we already talked about DCAing, already talked about taking profits, but since a bull market and a bear market, we always have small cycles internally. So let's say what we saw yesterday, it was sort of a bear market within like a fraction of a day. So, of course, DCAing is important, taking profit is important, but even if we get 40 to 50% of our highest value out, that is a good number, I think.
Great.
I just have one point to make here.
Yeah.
So what I've been noticing of late is that whatever happened in the last cycles versus what is going to happen in this cycle is going to be completely different, especially with respect to
Well said.
Bitcoin. Right? So if you look at the data, there are no Bitcoins available at exchanges. What does this mean? Bitcoin bottom is in. It is not going to go below this. So it's all about holding for the long term. And if asset managers like BlackRock, VanEck all come in with trillions of dollars, we're not even talking billions, which is much more than the total supply or rather market cap of crypto as such. I see that we are here for something in the long run, and I don't see it correcting so much. So I think for now, for me at least personally, it's all about investing and investing in the biggest asset, which is Bitcoin.
There's one thing that I would like to add. I know we all talk about how predictable the bull and bear cycles are, but we have to think about the fact that this market has been around for just a decade. And in one decade, we have already seen 4 to 5 bull and bear cycles. The stock market has been around for over a century, and it is still hard to predict the bull and bear cycle for the stock market. In the last bear cycle, it was the first time when it went from a bear to a bull in like 40 days, and it had never happened. And the bear cycle didn't really last as long. COVID was supposed to be a black swan event. The world was frightened. But then we had quantitative easing happening in the United States, $3 trillion being pushed in, and the entire global economy somehow stayed afloat. And look at the market cap today. I mean, at least US stock market is doing excellent. And my husband works for NVIDIA, so I don't mind it at all. But that being said, for Bitcoin,
Sonia,
the crypto market,
the main question is, did you get some ESOPs?
a lot. Yeah. He has been working with them since 2008 when people didn't know NVIDIA.
Are you looking to adopt a fully grown child?
I
With
wish.
5 children.
But the market is unpredictable. So I do agree with my fellow panelists here. There is nothing wrong with taking profits. Taking profits and running away, probably not. But if you are in here and you need to make some money, even the bigger companies, when you look at them, a lot of the companies, they'll go and either split stocks at the top, right? Or many a times you actually see the companies selling at the top, and then when the stock price drops, they do buybacks. Right? So even the traditional world has done that. So there's nothing wrong with doing that in the crypto world, where you can sell something for like, I bought Solana at $20, I can sell it at $200, and then when it even drops back to like, let's say 100, 150, I can buy it back. It may not always work, but at the same time, just taking some profits on the way up is not a bad idea at all.
So basically average out, right? There is something called dollar cost averaging, where you invest every month. I think it's a great idea to also keep taking out profits accordingly, not just keep putting it in, because liquidity is the most important thing in anyone's life, or in any business. So I think that's what we take out of this panel. Thank you so much for coming in and being a part of this. Come on, guys, everyone. Can we give them a huge round of applause?